everybody, and welcome to the Two Canadians Football Podcast. I'm your host, Matty P.
I'm your co-host, C-Money.
And we are coming at you with the latest episode, the first episode of August.
Yeah, welcome to the new year. Football is in the air.
Football is in the air. Summer is halfway through. We had our first game I guess the Hall of Fame game.
This past Thursday. Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets.
Yes.
Not much to talk about here.
No, there was a nice pass by the young Wilson.
Zachary.
But yeah, shall we get straight to the news?
Let's do it.
Kamara suspended 3 games by the NFL.
Yep, elevating the draft status of Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller. They also brought in Kareem Hunt for a look-see, kicking the tires.
Kicking things.
Yeah, not really sure. Yeah, not really sure if they really need to do that. It's only 3 games for Kamara. I mean, that backfield is pretty loaded, but maybe they don't have full confidence in the rookie yet. That's my only thought on that. Otherwise, I mean, you're gonna have Kamara and Jamal Williams. I mean, that's a solid 1-2 right there.
Maybe Kareem Hunt was just in the area, fishing or something.
Hanging out on the bayou.
But yeah, I don't really see a need for a running back there. 3 games is not much. And Kendre Miller, if you haven't watched his tape,
Looks good.
Watch his interviews. He's willing to soak up all things football. And I do believe in him.
There was talk he came in out of shape, so maybe they're just trying to light a fire under the rookie a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's a scary running back room. Once all 3 are there, that's a good trifecta.
Yeah, nice tandem. Or a 3-headed monster.
Yeah, I've come to be a decent Williams fan. I'm very impressed what he did last year with all the opportunities that he had.
Yeah, solid player. Keeps elevating year after year, and he's made himself into a solid NFL contributor.
In other news, we got Kadarius, Toney, and Pacheco are slated to be back and ready after their surgeries by week 1.
Yeah, good news for the Chiefs.
Kadarius Toney, since arriving as a Chief, he hasn't been the healthiest, and Pacheco had surgery on his wrist and his shoulder. So yeah, I'm sure the Chiefs they would like those guys to be ready week 1, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they should be back and ready to go. So that's good news. We got Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, signing with the Detroit Lions. And that's a really good landing spot for him, I think. He's coming in, obviously, to be the backup. That should be a perfect situation for him. They got a nice O-line there. They got some really good players that I think he would gel with really well. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. Amon-Ra St. Brown catching passes like on crossing routes, shorter intermediate routes. And that's right where Teddy thrives. So I think that would be a really good fit. The tight end, Laporta, although young, but still should be a good player. Jameson Williams out for 6 games. So, throwing deep isn't really a concern. Although I think Teddy can do that, but he just needs to practice, needs to work it in. But he's a lot better on the underneath stuff, and that's where most of Detroit's pass catchers are ideally suited.
Yeah, I think that was a good organizational decision on bringing Teddy Two Gloves in. He's familiar with the division as well, and now they have Goff, Teddy Two Gloves, and is it Hendon Hooker, the rookie?
Yeah, I guess, right, yeah. Bring him along slowly.
So Hendon can learn from a couple of different quarterbacks as he develops.
Right, yeah, good point.
I think that's it for much of the news. Cakes finally decided to drop Tom Brady in a league. Does that qualify as news?
Yeah, I guess that's sort of newsworthy. I can't wait to scoop him up off waivers.
For $0 there, just in case.
Yeah.
A little stash.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
No, we're just kidding. You guys can drop Tom Brady now.
Yeah, I think this is for sure.
So yeah, today's episode we are going to keep it brief, but we're going to touch on players outside the ADP, outside 100 ADP that we think will finish inside the top 100.
Some of our favorites for this upcoming season, past the consensus. This is like a consensus ranking, so we're compiling all the rankings from a bunch of different sites, and then we're going to go outside 100 to give you a quarterback we like, a wide receiver that we like, and a tight end that we like.
I'll go first here, guys. According to Fantasy Pros and expert consensus, Daniel Jones is QB 12 this year, just outside 100 at 101 ADP. I think Jones finishes top 8 QB with what coach is doing there. I think he's got a lot of pieces around him. They drafted Jalen Hyatt, maybe stretched the field a little bit more than they were last year. And they got Saquon back there practicing, so I think Daniel Jones is gonna, like I said, finish in the top 8 of quarterbacks.
All right. So I was looking at this exercise and I was tempted to give you just all Houston Texans because I think rising tide will raise all ships, and CJ Stroud is going to help elevate all those players on that offense. So I was going to say Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, and Devin Singletary, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna step away from the Houston Texans. I think that's too easy. So I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go deep down the list, other than at quarterback. At quarterback, I'm going to go Kirk Cousins because he's ranked just past Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is ranked higher because of his rushing upside, but everyone knows that Kirk supplies a very solid floor, and he's consistent year in, year out. And I think if you're drafting him as a solid number 2 in a super flex, that's a great choice. Or if maybe an injury hits and you selected a high running back or a high quarterback earlier in the draft, and then you get an injury week 1 or week 2 and you can grab him off the waiver wire, I think he'd be a great fill-in, solid, consistent. And the other one I considered was Geno Smith because I think both him and Kirk are going to have really good years this year. But I'm going to go Kirk because I do think without Dalvin, they're just going to pass even more. Addison should be an improvement over Thielen. KJ's still back. Hawkinson been in the system for a year. I think it's going to be wheels up for Kirk this season, and he's going to be leading the charge with a really, really, just a really great season for him. Possibly his best ever.
Go Kirk.
Let's go.
Looking forward to those first couple Minnesota matchups this year.
Yeah, can't wait.
Speaking of Minnesota, I'm going to wide receiver 60, ADP 141 on Fantasy Pros. Adam Thielen being undervalued, being disrespected. I know a rookie QB's coming in, but that's going to work in favor with Adam Thielen. He's going to need someone to check down to in the intermediate area of the field. And guess who does that best? Adam Thielen, one of the best pair of hands in the league. Watch Adam Thielen. Definitely going to be inside the wide receiver 60s. I'm probably thinking top 40. So go get him in all your leagues.
Yeah, I could see that. He could resurrect his career. I think he feels a little bit disrespected by Minnesota. He's going to work hard this offseason and try and prove that he still has something left in the tank. He has declined the last couple seasons due to injuries mainly, but I'm hoping for a revival for him too because I do like him as a player and a person. He seems like a nice guy, so I'm cheering for him. I hope he turns it around, and he could be the wide receiver 1 for Carolina this year, especially in the red zone. He's a really good red zone target, and that's where he should help Bryce Young a lot, so I like that pick. For me, for wide receiver, I'm going to go Marvin Mims of Denver. He's a little deeper. The thing about him is Tim Patrick already out for the year, unfortunately. Tough one for him this season, again. Second year in a row losing his whole season to injury. So now that moves him up to wide receiver 3 on the depth chart behind Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, who are also notorious for not staying healthy year in, year out. Plus, they just haven't produced to the level expected of them as players while they've been in the league. So I think Marvin Mims has an opportunity here as a rookie to come in and earn his keep. And if an injury hits either one of those top two, then all of a sudden, guess what? He's in the top 2 receivers, and he could really hit for you. I think this guy's got a lot of talent, and he's fast. So that's a big thing. So I'm excited to see what he could do.
Very nice, very nice. So I'm going to go with a tight end as my last and third pick here outside the ADP of 100. I'm going to go Cole Kmet for the Chicago Bears, the native of Chicago.
The Bears.
Just signed a 4-year contract to stay with his hometown team. And he's still only 24. I know you've been hearing about his name in the league for a while, 3 years or so? He's still only 24, but this is the year he breaks out. Currently, he's the tight end 15 on Fantasy Pros and across other platforms. I think he's got top 12 potential, maybe the top 10. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of step Fields takes. If you noticed last year at the tail end of the season, those two, Fields and Kmet, were gaining some steam and some consistency. And I think there's going to be more of that this year, especially, you got Mooney, you got DJ Moore there now, you got Cole Kmet, you got Claypool, but I think Kmet could still be the first or second favorite target, probably second to DJ Moore. And yeah, you can get Cole Kmet very late in drafts, so keep an eye on him as a backup tight end right now. He could work that way into tight end 1 status.
Okay, and I'm going to go with another 20 or 24-year-old tight end. I'm going to head over to Cincinnati, and I'm going to go with Irv Smith Jr. finally breaking out after he's just had the worst luck with injuries so far in his young career. When he came into the league, he was one of, if not the youngest player in the league to start his career. And he's just had bad luck. Well, first he couldn't leapfrog Kyle Rudolph originally in his first year as a rookie. It's always tough for tight ends to break through, and when there's a quality veteran there, then it's pretty much damn near impossible. But after moving on from Rudolph, the expectation was that he was going to break out, gets injured, loses his season, and then last year, looking good again in camp. Everyone's talking about how good he looks, blah, blah, blah. Gets injured again, so the Vikings make the move for TJ Hawkinson. Irv is out. Now Irv is back again. Now he's with Cincinnati. He's got Joe Burrow as a quarterback. I think this is a great opportunity for him to prove that he really is still worth that second-round draft pick that he was taken with originally out of the University of Alabama. And I think he's going to have a good year. I know they do have their 2 stud receivers, obviously, and then Tyler Boyd's a very good third. But as a tight end, Hayden Hurst was putting up some decent numbers as a usable tight end towards the end of the year last year. I think Irv Smith is better than Hayden Hurst, and he is going to really help that Cincinnati offense this year.
Yeah, I hope Irv Smith can have some success in Cincy. Wouldn't we like to see it as Minnesota Vikings fans?
Yeah, I mean, you wish it would have came with the Vikings, but yeah, sure, we'll take it. I do like him. He seems like a good enough guy, and he did always try hard. He did really work to become a better player. Like, it sounded like he was putting in the work, doing what he needed to do, but just sometimes the injury bug hits. So
is he really only 24?
Yeah. Fourth
feels older.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Fourth 4 years in the league, and he's only 24.
Yeah, so he's still very young for a tight end. Usually you don't see tight ends start developing into their final form, let's say, till like 25, 26.
Yeah,
so.
Right, exactly, yep.
Yeah, I actually like your picks and mine as well, Miller.
Yeah.
Good job. We'll see how we'll have to come back to this episode next year and see how close we were.
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah, because those are what we feel, guys. And then if you got anything to say about that, leave some comments in the comments section.
Yeah, if you have a pick or two that you think could hit that are later, after later picks, 100 or later.
So yeah, I think that's about it for this episode, guys. Me and Miller are starting another league. We're starting a best ball league on Sleeper, so I gotta send the invites out and get all the other leagues going. And draft season is upon us.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So with that, be excellent to each other.
Invite a woman to your league.
Diversity is the spice of life.
Include your family.
Yeah, whoever you want.
But yeah, well, happy drafting, guys, and we'll see you next week when we have a little bit more to talk about.
Peace out.
Later.